Torah Anytime original series.
What is the point of seminary?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a Menachem Nissel pet peeve. So it happens to be a very good question, which I get from many, many distraught fathers who are about to spend half of their fortune on sending their daughters to seminary for a year. And I literally got mad last week at one of my talmidim who said, why can't I keep my daughter in America? Why can't I send her to England? I was there when Rabbi Kamenetsky told her, you don't need to go to seminary. And she didn't. Finding out different parts of their personality that can only be brought out by having roommates from foreign countries and teachers that are saying things that are like they're struggling with, and having those late night DMCs till 3 a.m. with their friends. And that is what changes them. You see, their homes 5 years later, 10 years later is different from the ones that did not go. It is definitely stronger, definitely more Torah authentic. I will literally beg them, don't go, well, my friends are going there and it's going to be so cool. No, stop and think, what is authentically best for you? And very, very often, the answer to what's going to be best for you is to go not where your friends are going.
Do you think that some seminaries are promoting extremism? They're sort of slaving away with a lot of Mesiras Nefesh just to be Yotzei their mechaneches who was a little bit extreme, who lived in Yerushalayim, didn't know the intricacies of America well.
My definition of Kollel is a finishing school for Zvulons. That there's a ton of burnout with the young men. People burn out by the time they're 30. It's very clear that the ones that did time, that learned in Kollel in their mid-20s, their chances of learning in their 30s and 40s and 50s is much higher. Volba used to say, I don't understand how Avrechim are learning over the age of 30 when there's so much that they can do in Kiruv and Chinuch and Rabbanos.
You have 350 girls, you're charging, what, $35,000, $30,000? That's like more than $10 million. Where does the money go?
I'm going to get into trouble now. No one who works for the seminaries is becoming rich. I know him as a person. The person is only interested in chinuch, only interested in what's best for his students, and he just makes sure that he has, he lives modestly in the same apartment he has for the last 40 years. I just honestly know that these are really good people. And I'm not saying this because I want to keep my jobs. They're really good people. Seminaries, you're going to say, hey, would you like to spend your hard-earned money to help a girl spend a year in Israel? Not happening.
If you could say one thing to a girl who's about to get on the plane and try to get the best out of her year, what would you tell that girl? What would you say is your biggest pet peeve when it comes to shidduchim?
I really want to get these ideas out there. Shidduchim, I'm very passionate about it because I'm the one that listens to all the pain. My pet peeve is that people should stop believing there's a God in this world. Oh my gosh, did he just say that? Yeah, I just said that. But they always forget that the original hishtadlus for shidduchim was Yitzchak davening mincha. The Ika hishtadlus for shidduchim is tefillah. You go to Shanchin with exactly the same mindset as you go to your dentist.
Do you think we've created a generation that's obsessed with checking boxes? What is it indicative of?
It's insane, Hillel. You know that. Everyone knows it's insane. This checking boxes thing is not, is local. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. We live in a generation that's paranoid about these boxes. And very, very often you'll realize that, yeah, the parents are divorced. But this guy is a pitzutz, like we say in Israel, is an incredible guy. Sicknesses that Mishpacha magazine, every week in Family First, you find out new things that people have that you never knew about.
Let's say you have a girl who, she's 23, she's been in shidduchim since she was 18, and she's only gone on one date. What should she do? She's stuck.
I could not disagree with you more.
And she refuses to allow her 26 and 24 and 22-year-old sisters to go out. Is that appropriate? Is that not appropriate?
The younger sister gets married. How many times have you heard, and I've heard, that soon after the older sister finds her shidduch?
What exactly is Machshava? How would you define it? Because the people who are into Machshava, then anything that they like is Machshava. And the people who don't like Machshava, anything they don't like is labeled Machshava. What is Machshava?
That it's a Chil Hashem when young men and young women cannot eloquently answer a secular Jew basic questions in Judaism. And Rav Shach says, Desla is Nitamalach. He did not hold of what Rav Desla had done.
You have people, they're learning Chumash, they have no idea. Bris Ben Abasar, no clue. No idea why we're pouring oil over Kohanim's heads. No clue what the Lachma Panim is supposed to symbolize. No idea why do we need Luchais. Why do I need Luchais? Why do I need a Seres Dibros? Why do those Seres Dibros get in and not other things? With no interest.
Yeah, it drives me nuts that my students in the Bay, they know the 10 spheros before they know the 12 tribes. There's something wrong over here.
Do you think it's become way too broad where you can potter yourself for not knowing basic psukim in Parshas Bereshis? Because, hey, it's Machshava, and I don't do Machshava because Rav Shach said not to learn Machshava. Do you think that's horrible?
That Yom Kippur is the most boring, most tedious day in your life if you don't understand what you're doing. Somewhere in your 20s, you find that you need more. 10% of your time should be Machshava, 90% should be on Gemara, Rashi, Tosfos, and Halacha. Rabbi Shapiro, the essence of who he was a talmid of two people. There's a Brisker Rav and Rav Desla. It said every day there are trainloads of Jewish neshamas going to Auschwitz. And Rav Moshe tried to transmit that passion to all his talmidim to take care about the klal. He would send everybody out as much as he could. The moment that they're ready, he would send them out. He even warned me that terrible things would happen if I left. And they did. I was hoping that Simchas Torah 2 years ago would cause people to think and to change, and the Kiruv movement should have a new flowering. I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it at all. But it's a number game, because every person that they get, there's another 1,000 that they don't get. The fact is, I taught a few days ago in the Bay Yerushalayim, but the numbers, and I'm not blaming the Bay, and I'm not blaming the Makarvim, it's pathetic. It's minuscule. The whole revolution that happened in Eretz Yisrael after Simchas Torah, at the end of the day, it was there, but it was still minuscule compared to what was left over.
The amount of money and resources and time and emotional energy put on fighting anti-Semitism, and every congressman who put some tweet, some email that had a little bit of anti-Semitism and it was attacked and it was fought. Looking back, it seems like so many resources were put into this PR battle. Maybe some of those funds or resources could have been diverted towards actual Kiruv. Do you feel as though that could have changed things?
Hillel, I'm so glad you asked me this because I want the whole world to know this. I think it's a catastrophe about how the word anti-Semitism is being spun and being explained. 2 hours ago in someone's home, and they explained to me, oh, Candace Owens, the reason why she became such a deep anti-Semite is because she married this type of Christian, and she got this kind of, old-fashioned Christian theology where Jews are the devil, etc., etc., etc. Zakol shtiyot. Zeloli inyan bichlal. This has got nothing to do with what's really happening. That the IDF, when I, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, say no, they're useless. When I say yes, they will do miracles that no one else can ever explain. My frum friends have to go explain there's a right-wing phenomenon, there's a left-wing phenomenon. There is a HaKadosh Baruch Hu phenomenon telling Klal Yisrael, wake up. Oh, Menachem Nissel, you're a hypocrite. No, I'm not a hypocrite. Is Hamas the problem and the IDF is the solution, or is Hamas the punishment and Klal Yisrael is the problem? The curtain is coming down on Jewish history, and Rabbi Moshe Shapiro, if he was alive today, would say to us, what are you doing to bring in our brothers and sisters so when the curtain comes down, they'll be on the right side?